Are you new to Palworld? You have no idea what's going on, or you just want some tips and tricks to get started? If so, we have a bunch of beginner tips in this video. So let's get started. All right, so once you boot up Palworld and then name your island, this is where you're going to decide if you want multiplayer or single player mode, but your main decision is going to be the difficulty. So you have a normal mode, which is the intended difficulty, which will give you a bit of a challenge. But the main thing between normal and casual mode is that in normal mode, if you die, you will drop all of your loot. So if you want a challenge or have some time to spare, you can choose normal. But if you want a casual, more laid back experience, where even if you die, you still retain all the loot that you have, then you can go with casual. In the custom mode, you can customize the settings, and there is a whole plethora of things you can change. Anything from hunger depletion rate all the way up to the rate of experience that you get. So whatever playstyle you have options to truly customize it to fit your time schedule. Next, it's time for character customization. And do keep in mind, you can't edit your character after the fact, at least not yet, but there seems to be some plans of a re-edit feature in the future. And you can get some pretty unique characters, so customize to your heart's content. So your character is done, you've watched the cutscene, and now you're in the game. You see a straight path forward, but what we're gonna do first is turn around. Follow the path down the stairs, and then keep going through the archways. Once you do that, you'll see some treasure on your right. We'll go ahead and pick up that collectible, which is a journal. And then right beside it, you'll notice another set of stairs. Follow this path down, and you'll find yourself a chest. So now we have some coins, some pal spears, and some mega spheres now. Now, if you hop down the ledge to the left, this will take you down a winding path until you reach a little cozy beach area. If you keep traveling the right side of the beach, you will see this green effigy. Go ahead and pick that up because we will need these for the future. Now, what we want to start doing is picking up all of these little resources. So pick up all these blue stones. These are going to be used to craft the pal spheres. You're going to need regular stones. Make sure to pick up wood. And then once you're done collecting the resources on the beach, you're just going to head back the way that you came. Keep in mind there is climbing mechanics, so you can climb and scale walls. And once you've made it back to your starting area, we're just going to push directly forward. You should immediately see a statue, and these are going to be nice fast travel points. So anytime you see these, you want to activate these. This will allow you to travel across the map a lot faster. Also, any NPCs that you see, because usually they give you some resources. This one, for example, will give you 10 wood pieces, which is definitely going to help out. So at this point, we should have collected a lot of resources. Sometimes you'll see little pal spheres you can pick up as well. Pick up any red berry plants that you see. And then one of the first things you want to do, if you're a controller, you press up on the D-pad and you're going to want to build a primitive workbench. You can kind of set this wherever you want to. We just need this to build some tools real quick. So we want to build one of each of these. The wooden club is going to allow us to do more damage to the pals. Definitely a lot more efficient than using our fists. The torch is going to keep us warm at night as well as light the way. It does get pretty dark out there, so if you don't have a fire pal with you, you could get lost in the sauce. The pickaxe is going to allow us to mine stones at a lot faster rate, and then the axe is going to allow us to chop down trees and gather more wood. So again, we're going to use our new tools to gather our new resources. So use the pickaxe on the stone, and if you're like me and you get weighed down from carrying too many items, in the pause menu, you can enhance your stats. So early game, you really want to focus on your weight. So pumping a few points into that will definitely help. Stamina is not a bad idea as well if you feel like you're running out of stamina too quickly. Be sure to pick up a few of these blue ores as well. This is going to give you palladium fragments, which you're going to need to craft those pal spheres. And those pal spheres are going to allow you to catch these pals. Now, as you're collecting these resources, you should start to see a river flowing with a bridge. If you look over to the right or left, depending on what side you're standing on, you'll see a chest and another journal entry. So go ahead and hop down and grab those items if you can. It seems that I need a key for this chest. And now we should have enough resources to set up sort of a stronghold. So if you continue looking in this first starting area, you'll start to see a nice open area that's perfect for your first base. It's right by the water and you see a nice open patch of land. So here is where we're going to get started. Now this is just to get you up and running, so don't worry about it. So we first need to go into our menu, over to the technology page. And by this point, you should have a few levels, so you have some technology points to spend. So we're going to go ahead and unlock all of these first two layers, and we're going to use this wooden set structure to build our first cabin. So again, up on the D-pad, we're going to go over to the foundation tab and start building our cabin. I'm going to keep it nice and simple and just build a 1 by 1 because there's definitely better places we can build. Keep in mind this is a simple cabin. Be sure to put some kind of roof on it, otherwise you're not going to be able to place your bed inside. So now we have a nice extra cozy cabin, and now we need to build a PAL box. Now as you can see, this has a huge area that it covers, and if you rotate it onto our character, we can't place it. So we need to put this in an area that won't be intrusive. I'm thinking we put it facing the mountain. So you can see that it takes this back area, which we're definitely not going to use, but we can still access it from the back if we need it. Kind of the best of both worlds. Next, let's build ourselves another workbench for our base. And then we're going to start to catch some pals. So let's make some pal spheres. And as you can see, there's a bunch of pals in the area. Now you are able to sneak up to a pal. And if you aim a pal spear at their back, you see that you get a back bonus. Now it's only 43%, so the weaker the pal is, the better. I accidentally threw that pal sphere and it didn't catch him. So we're gonna bust him up real quick. Let's get the bat so we actually do some damage. And the weaker they are, the better. So we're gonna get him to a decent HP, throw another sphere, and now we have our first pal. Now the first pals you want to get are these Cativa pals. These are gonna be the workhorses of your base, but you do want to catch one or two of these lamb balls as well. We are going to need the wool in order to make certain items. So we're going to capture a few more of these Cativas real quick. There's one more Cativa. Let's catch one of these lamb balls. All right, we have a lamb ball, and now we have a couple more Cativas. Now, if we look at any of the Cativas in our party, we can see that their partner skill is called the Cat Helper. So while in team, Cativa helps carry supplies, increasing the player's max carrying capacity. So as long as you have one of these in your party, your max carrying capacity is increased, which definitely comes in handy. By this point, your character may be a little bit hungry. And if you see that orange bar on the right side of the screen, that is your hunger bar. So make sure to have some of those red berries you collected earlier to fill yourself up. And the pals that are in your party, they'll start to get hungry as well. And you can feed them from this menu. Now at this pal box, there are slots at the bottom. So if you drag a pal into that slot, they will now work at the base. So they'll start to collect items such as ores, and you're able to pick up your pals and assign them to tasks. So if you just throw them in the general area of something, they will start to go to work on it. It's a good idea to build a storage chest early on, just to reduce the amount of items you need to carry. But one of the best parts about storage on your base is that whatever item is in your storage, you will automatically pull from that. Meaning that even if the supply isn't in your inventory, you can still craft. So whatever components you need, it'll automatically take it away from that chest, which is a quality of life feature I am absolutely loving. Now these Cativas will craft your stuff as well if you want them to. So I've thrown him over by the workbench and now he is crafting the pal spheres. But I think we're going to need a few more helpers. So if you go back to your pal box, you have the option to upgrade your base. Now you need to do certain requirements. So we have built the wooden chest and we've deployed a work pal to the base. So now we can upgrade it. This will give you more quests to accomplish. So our next quest is to build a bed. But every time you do upgrade the PAL box, another slot opens for you. So we're going to put another Cativa in there. Now we have 2 workers. We can tell what to do. Now you can see our current mission is to build a shoddy bed, but we need cloth. In order to get cloth, we need to get wool from these lamb balls. Now you can get wool by killing these creatures, or you can capture them as well. So as you can see, we picked up some wool from these, and you don't necessarily have to kill them. If you capture them, you'll gain their resources as well. So once you've acquired enough wool, you've probably already unlocked the cloth. So now we're going to use that wool to build some cloth. While our Cativa is building that up, if you look at the waterfall, you'll see another green effigy. We can go ahead and collect that. Nice. And if you ever run into these shiny type rocks, these will give you iron ores, which are pretty valuable, but it's not something you really need early game. So you can collect them just to have them, but they do weigh you down pretty bad. So our cloth is now built. We're going to go ahead and build ourselves a bed now. And beds just need to be under a roof. And this is a pretty shoddy bed. You know, 1x1 cabin. So now we have a bed. This will allow us to skip the night. So if you don't want to go out exploring at night or it's just too cold, you can take a sleep in there. But now that we have a bed for ourselves, we're going to need a bed for all of our pals that are working at our base. So we're going to build a couple of beds for our pals, and we're going to build some extras for our future pals. As you can see, our Cativas do help build as well if they're not sleeping. So you're able to assign them to help you build again if they're not tired. There we go. Okay. See, now they want to put the work in. There we go. Now, all these different pals have different work abilities we'll be getting into a little bit later. So Cativas are good at building stuff. They're kind of like an all-around workhorse. There are special pals that'll help you cook food, water berries, and a lot more. We're going to need to craft a repair bench now as well. your items are probably on the brink of being damaged, and this allows you to repair those items with just a couple resources. So now we're going to focus on upgrading our base. So make sure to get your upgrades in. Building a feed box. This is going to allow your pals to eat without you having to feed them yourself. So you can put some berries in here to start out. And as you're upgrading your base, you're going to see more and more missions. I'm going to need some more Cativas as our workhorses, so I'm going to catch a few more. And keep in mind, every 10 pals you catch of the same type, you do get an experience bonus. So you can just go on a catching spree to get some serious levels, and it's just going to help out in the long run. And now we've caught our 10 and we have a experience bonus, which is nice. And if you are having any issues with these Cativas, you can sneak up behind them and then whack them in the back of the head. So we should be pretty well sorted out. We have some workhorses and we have a bunch of supplies. So now we need to focus on some builds. We're going to unlock some more items. So now we need to build a campfire, which we'll put this in the middle for now. And this is going to allow you to cook some food. If you notice, as these Cativas are breaking down the ore, they will actually carry these stones and place them in the box for you if you have a storage box already made, which is super convenient. If you ever find these fox marks, which are definitely in the same area as their starting base, catch 1 or 2 of these because these are going to be excellent cooks. If you assign one of these fox marks to your pal workforce and then select something to cook, then fox starts will start to automatically cook for you. This man's is Chef Boyardee. I did move my pal box away from this wall. I noticed that they were spawning on top of this rock and I had to manually pick them up to throw them into the base. So be wary of that. Learn from my mistake. Keep this box in a more open area. So we're continue upgrading our base. We now need to build a berry plantation. I need to gather some more wood real quick. And then now we can build our berry plantation. Now to help with these berry plantations, we're going to need another pal. And luckily they are right down the hill in the same area. These pengullets are a water ice type. So we're going to go ahead and capture a few of these. And I'd recommend catching a few of these penguins. At least one for yourself and one for your base. And so after you're done planting some berries, the pengullet will automatically water them for you. And this will kind of automate the process of growing berries. And then those berries transferring over to the food basket so your pals can eat. Also, having one in your inventory is great for early on battles because this ice missile ability is pretty powerful. Now we need some upgrades. So building this common shield is going to be very helpful. Once you grab it, it automatically equips. And if you look above your current health bar, you now have a blue shield health bar. So before your character takes any damage, that shield has to break first and it automatically regens. Also, just don't stick with one workbench. You can build multiple of these to increase your workflow. Some other items you want to craft is the cloth outfit. This is going to keep you warm, especially when it's at nighttime. And then once you grab that, it will automatically equip on your character. So now you kind of looking spicy. You can see the berries have been grown now, and now they're transferring it into the box. So now all your pals will be fed, self-sustained. The parachute is a must grab, so make sure you craft one of these. The parachute allows you to glide off cliffs or cross gaps, which is pretty phenomenal. Helps you get to places you wouldn't normally reach. Make sure to build yourself a nice little ranch. And at these ranches, you can assign your lamb bulls, and they'll basically produce wool for you, which you can make clothes out of. Make sure to build a bow when you can. This is going to allow you to finally do that ranged attack, and it's going to allow you to do a lot more damage when it comes to fighting these pals. If you unlock the Fox Parks harness and then build a pal gear workbench, you can craft this harness for your Fox Parks. This automatically equips it to your pal, which unlocks a special ability called Huggy Fire. Once you activate the ability, you will take hold of your pal and unleash a devastating flamethrower attack. Even the Cativas are running scared. It's definitely a great early game attack, especially against some of these more powerful pals you encounter in these early stages. Once you've unlocked the Statue of Power and then have built it, you can have the option of enhancing your player stats or enhancing your pals. So for player stats, this will increase your capture power, or you can enhance your pal stats. I think early game, it's a good idea to enhance that capture power just so you have more capture efficiency. And every time you upgrade it, you're going to need more of those green effigies to upgrade. So that first initial one was just 1, but if you're trying to get to the next level, you're going to need a total of 4. So if you're trying to catch a pal and you start attacking one, your pal's going to start attacking them as well. And they won't stop until they are dead. So you can either call your pal back so they don't end up killing them, or you can set their commands to do not attack so they don't end up killing the pal you're trying to capture. Now it's time to go out and capture some bigger pals. These male alpacas are in the same starting area and they are pretty handy to have. If you can get the timing right to where you get the health of a pal down to 0 at the exact time you throw a pal ball, you will get a 100% capture rate. So for example, it is kind of hard to pull off, but once you get it, you get it. If you see any daydream pals, make sure to capture a few. They appear in the starting area at nighttime, and then make sure to build a harness for them. With the harness equipped with your daydream, you can now choose another pal to come out, but daydream will still stay out with you. So you can basically have 2 pals to attack. But if you have more than 1 daydream, you can have a whole army of them, which is pretty cool, I think, huh? Once you've upgraded your basey bit and built the logging site and the stone pit, this is basically going to be passive ways of collecting stone and wood. So if you have the right pals, they're going to mine these resources and stock up your storage. If you build a hot spring or 2, this is going to help your pal sand level stay down, which will help them become more productive. You do need pal fluid, which you can get from slaying or capturing these pin gullets, plenty in this area to go and farm. Now, as you continue exploring the area, if you keep heading down the hill of this starting area, you'll see a tower in the distance, another fast travel spot, which you definitely need to grab. You'll eventually run into another NPC and some ruins. If you continue down this path, you'll eventually find yourself at the tower. Now, these are 10-minute boss battles that are pretty difficult. So before you go in there, you want to make sure you have some decent pals with you. Across from this tower is going to be your first syndicate base. Now, you're actually able to capture these syndicates. It is a very rare chance, but you definitely can if you don't kill them first. After you secure the base, sometimes there's pals that have been captured. If you release them though, they will automatically be yours and they'll transfer directly into your pal box. Sometimes there's treasures or rare resources around here too, so make sure to look around. And then if you explore into this Aspeny area, which is right around here on the map, you'll eventually run into these rush boars. You want to capture one of these. This is going to help you move around the map a lot faster. And back at base, you're able to make a rush boar saddle. So once you have the rush boar in your party, you're now able to use the ride ability, which allows you to move around the map a lot faster. And if you use his reckless charge, you're able to mine ores as well. So we just got 29 stone from that and some palladium fragments. You can do it on these ore stones as well. You get a 9 ores right there. So if you have a bunch of rocks in the way, you can basically just charge through them. Oh, it even works on trees. Okay. This will be a resource powerhouse. And then last but certainly not least, you can use your pal box as a fast travel point. So you can fast travel to any of these statues that you found. And of course, from these statues, you can fast travel back to your own base. I sincerely hope these tips and tricks have helped you. If you have any tips that you've experienced yourself, I would definitely love to know. Or if this video helped you out traversing the world of Palworld, let me know down in the comments. If you would like to see another guide covering even more tips, make sure to like the video and subscribe as well. Good luck on your Palworld adventure, and I'll see you next time.